you first start training with a stick, how old were you?
Well, I started doing martial arts when I was a kid, but it wasn't until 1999 when I first saw Filipino martial arts. I was in a class, in a Muay Thai class, and before my class, there were another stick fighting and Filipino martial arts class. So the teacher invited me. He told me, "Do you want to come in?" And I said, "Yeah, it's okay." And I started training there. But it wasn't until 2000 that I started seriously. I met Francisco Gomez from Boto and Combat System, and I started training with him. And in 2000 until 2008, that I moved to London to live in London, and I lived there for 3 years. And whilst I was there, I met Richard Cotterill from Balintawak Cuentada. So, and that's the system I'm doing until now. Balintawak Cuentada and B3 combat system. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. What is the name of your school?
It's Balintawak Cuentada is the name. And we also do B3, which is like a combat approachment for the Balintawak from Richard's perspective. Okay, so he's focused on fighting and looking for the fight, so he does his own thing.
Okay, what kind of weapons do you work?
We work mainly with three steps. We always train with a stick, but with bearing in mind that we can use it in empty hand and knife fighting. So there are three main tools that we use: stick, knife, and empty hand. The thing is that we use the stick to transfer everything to the other two. So you train the same. You train your body. You don't train any weapon. You train body mechanics.
Why did you pick up a stick?
I think it's because I started training and I got hooked. I love it. I started training and I realized that it was a good way to develop your skills. To get faster, to get better reflexes and speed. So that was my decision. I started training with a stick.
How do you think? What is the basis of martial arts?
The basis of martial arts, in my opinion, overall is self-defense. You need to defend yourself and train committed to that, focus on that, on self-defense. But if you look at all the martial arts, you need to not get in techniques, but get in concepts, concepts like body mechanics, how your body moves, how do you react, how can you get more power, how can you get more speed. So I think that's the basics of any martial art.
Okay. How do you think that your school of stick training originated?
Well, as a Filipino martial art, it comes from the Philippines. I think they've got a background of martial arts, and at the same time, the Spanish people were there. I think it's a mix of everything. But in our case, in Balintawak case, it started in a street. The street that's the name of the. That's how the system was named after. About that street. There is a street very famous in Cebu City called Balintawak, and it was like a group of teachers. Anson Bacon, Teófilo Vélez, the Vélez family, Bobby Taboada, all of them started gathering in that street. And in the end, they called the system because of that street. So it was originated in Cebu City, in the Philippines.
Okay, thank you very much. Tell me, please, is psychology important in stick training with a knife or stick?
Yeah, it is. In fact, I think that it can build the 80% of the training, because you can train a lot of techniques. You can train everything. You can get all the ways you want. But if you don't have the adequate attitude, It will you won't be able to cope with it. So it's very, very, very important. You have to train in your daily training. You have to focus on that, and at the same time, it's the most difficult thing to train. Psychology is very, very important.
How do you think? Why so many people today desire to learn stick, knife?
I think it's the same as happened to me. They have realized that training with weapons improves your skills, your speed, your reflexes, and at the same time, nowadays, I think everyone wants to defense against weapons. So, in order to defend against a weapon, you need to know how it works, and you have to train with it. Because if you don't train with a weapon, you don't know all the possibilities that weapon has. So I think that's the main thing. The main thing is that people want to defend against weapons, and they have to train with them in order to know.
Do you have your own methodology of teaching stick, knife? How does it look?
We based mainly on Balintawak Cuentada curriculum for training and B3 concepts. But it is true, everyone has his own experiences, and you translate them to your students and to your friends, and you think about how to do a thing. And it's one of the things I like the most. It's like I always want to think that a system is not perfect. Because if the system is perfect, you cannot improve it. So you need to think that this is not perfect. And you can improve it, look at the technique, train that technique, how it works. So that's the methodology we use. And we use it in three main steps. First one, to learn. You have to learn the technique, you have to learn how to use it, how it works. The second one, development. Okay, so you have to develop, you have to improve the technique, make it work from different angles, from different attackers or whatever. And the last one, and one of the most important, is combat. You need to fight. You need to do sparring. You need to fight to know if that technique that you have works or it doesn't work in real fighting. So 3 steps, I think, those 3 steps.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, welcome.
What is the most important when we working with a stick, and when we attack, and when we are defending with a stick?
The most important with defending and attacking a stick is what you said. It's very difficult to. Everyone wants to attack, but for me, attacking is easy. It's easy. Everyone, people with no experience in training with weapons can attack you. From angle 1 or whatever. But the most difficult thing is attacking and defending at the same time. You have to be able to attack, but don't expose yourself too much, and be able to get a defense technique in case you are attacked or you fail your attack. So it's very, very, the most difficult thing is defending. Attacking is easy, I think.
Okay, thank you very much. Describe, please, your teaching methods with a stick.
With a stick. As I said, we base on the Balintawak system, which is 6 levels, and in reality there are 2 instructor levels, which is number 6 and number 7. But it's like 7 levels. The first and second one are like for beginners, more or less. In the first one, you are focused on attacking, basic defense techniques, and more or less like that. In the second one, you are focused on defense techniques, mainly defending all the time against those attacks from the first level. Number 3 is the third level. Is very famous in Balintawak system because our range is medium to close. We are not a long range system, So it's the third level is grouping system. Grouping system is like the jiu-jitsu of Balintawak, the jiu-jitsu of the stick. How to grab it, how to clean, how to lift the grab, or how to attack in close range, how do you grab the hand, how do you grab. So that's the third level. The fourth one is more focused on the back side of the stick. So attacking with the the sword part. Okay. Number 5, you start doing disarms, and you control everything like that. And number 6 is semi-advanced techniques, and it's the instructor level. So you do semi-advanced techniques. And number 7 is the full instructor, full qualified instructor, and is about creating your own 24 techniques by yourself. So that you expose to the other students. It's good.
How much time does a person need to become a master?
That is a good question, but it's very difficult, because it depends on the people. It depends on the guy, and to be a master is very, very. I think to be a master is difficult. I think that being an instructor or a representative is not that easy, not that difficult. But a master, even for me, I think I'm not a master. Master is like a guy who has a lot of people under them, training with them, and showing every time how it works. How long? I don't know. Nowadays in Spain, it is taking to level 7 to level 6 is taking like 6 years, more or less. But to be a master, I think it's longer. It's, I don't know, 10 years. I don't know. It depends on the person. How much can they take? Can they absorb?
What is a perfect logical model of stick fighting?
The perfect technical model of stick fighting. It's difficult. It's difficult, that one. There is no perfection, I think. So because fighting is chaos, so you never know. You work to train techniques, to train body mechanics. That's why the most important thing is training yourself. Training your body mechanics, how to move, how to evade an attack, how to react. Because if you train techniques, you are training techniques against another techniques, and I think they are never going to happen as you think they will, because fighting is chaos. So I think there aren't perfect technical way of fighting. I think it's very, very difficult. Never going to happen as you think it will. So.
What is the difference between your school and another schools, such as Italian school and other schools?
As I said, the main difference is the range. You are like medium range. The most important part is like you are using the stick, but if you are in medium range, you can use the other hand, the live hand we call it. And this hand is very important because this hand is the one who is pulling, pushing, is moving around the other stick, is grabbing their head. You can punch, you can go with the elbow. So, whereas if you are in long range, normally it's the stick hand, the one who is always moving, because you cannot use your hand. If you use your hand, it gets hit by the other stick or the other sword or knife, from the attacker. So, one of the main features is that you are close to the other guy, you can use the other hand, and it makes it totally different. It became more related to boxing. It's nearer to boxing. You can see that the body mechanics are more like boxing or Muay Thai guys. So.
Okay. What is a stick for you?
For me, a stick.
Yes.
It's my way of living. It's the way I develop. It's the way I improve as a person and as everything. When I teach, I'm always thinking about how can I improve this, how can I improve that. Then you have to talk to people and get it through. They have to understand the concept you want to transfer. So it's my way of living. In mainly, I love the stick. I started with the stick like 15 years ago, and I think I will until I don't know. So.
Okay. Can you tell you what is the best tactics to win with a fight with a stick?
The best tactics, as I said, for me, is being able to attack without being hit. So timing is very important. The timing in a fight is one of the things you have to train every time. That's why, as I said, there are 3 steps, and you need the third one. If you miss one of them, you are losing one part, because if you only learn something, you are always learning. You don't know if you don't ever control that technique. You don't know if that technique works, and worst of all, you don't know if in real fight it's gonna work. So every technique must be tested, must be going through, train, see how it happens, and to be able to win a fight, to be able to fight with it, to be part of yourself. Otherwise, if you are thinking in a fight, you are losing. You will in a real fighting, you will never be thinking. So the perfect thing is being able to attack without being a strike, without defending yourself in every moment.
Thank you very much. What kind of wood the stick is made, and what is size?
Okay, we use for training. We always use a rattan stick. Is the one we always use normally. But as I know more or less, there are three kinds. I've got them here. This is the first one, which is rattan stick. It's a rattan stick. It's porous and it's with fiber. Everything is fiber. So that makes your grip, when you strike, it absorbs part of the strike, and your elbow doesn't suffer and your shoulder doesn't suffer, because the stick absorbs part of the blow. There is another one, which is bahi stick. This one is thicker. It's a little bit thicker. It's like fiber also, and it's heavier. It's heavier. You can feel it. If someone strikes you with this one, you will feel it very well. And the last one, which is the most heavy. The most heavy stick is the Kamagon one, which they called ironwood, the ironwood stick. This is not fiber. This is totally thick. It's totally like it's like iron. It's very, very heavy, very, very powerful. In fact, they say that you can stop a sword with this one, and I think it's true. It's very. You cannot cut this one with a sword. I think so. And the sizes of the sticks is very important also, because normally in long range you use like 75 centimeters, more or less, 70, 75, even 80 centimeters. But in our style, which is very short, it's in close range, it's like 65, 70. I like to train with them all the sizes, but it's true that in medium close range, it's easier to use the 65 centimeters stick.
How much time a person needs to learn to work with a stick?
To work with a stick, as I said, this depends on the person. It depends on the person. But for example, level 1, where you learn how to strike, more or less, how to move your body, more or less, it takes like a year. And level 2, which is the beginner also, is blocking and counter those strikes. So I may say 1 year, 2 years, but it depends on the person, I think, because some people pick things very, very fast, and they can be in a year they can be able to defend and attack, but normally 1 year, 1 year and a half, I would say.
Okay. Tell me, please, is there a fight between a stick and knife in your system?
There is no fighting like stick against knife as such. But as I said before, we train stick, but stick for us is a tool. So it's a tool to improve our body mechanics, how to move, how to attack, how to react. So if you apply the same techniques, more or less, with a little adjustments to knife fighting, you will find that it works perfectly. So it isn't. We don't train a stick against knife, but you can, if you want, you can translate it easily. In fact, I've got some students training with me that they are watching it and saying, "Oh, it's easy to translate from knife to stick, or to stick to a knife, or even knife to against stick, or stick against knife." And it's true, because it's the same. We are training concepts, how to move your body, how to move yourself, and we are not very focused on the weapon you have in your hand. So we can say that it's like that.
Thank you very much. And the last question, what would you like to tell us at the end?
As the end? Okay, I would like to thank all the friends, students and partners and masters I've trained with. I would like to thank Bobby Taboada, which is the grandmaster in the world nowadays in Balintawak Cuentada. And especially I would like to thank Francisco Gomez from Boto and Combat System, which was my mentor, and I started training with him. And Richard Cottery, which is the representative of Balintawak Cuentada in Europe and B3 Combat System. So I would like to thank everyone, and to you, Elizabeth, for this interview. Okay?